Hello guys, I hope everybody's having a great day today. Today's video is going to be an overview of a used shipping container and what to expect when purchasing one. I do sell new and used containers, so I'm going to do an overview of a container, what to expect when purchasing a wind and watertight used container, what to look for when doing so, and things to be aware of. So this container I'm showing you is not an example of a wind and watertight container. However, it's a good enough example for me to point out what you should expect when buying a used wind and watertight container. I will give you examples on this container of what you should not have when you purchase a wind and watertight container. So, this one was damaged in transport. You can see the bottom corner here is messed up. That created a little bit of problems with this door shutting all the way. It's an easy fix, so I'll have a wind and watertight container again when I'm done with it. The floors popped also when it tweaked it, I'll show you that. But what to look for and expect when buying a used wind and watertight container. You will find dents and dings, you will find chipped paint or peeling paint. That's to be expected. These containers are typically 10 to 12 years old, sometimes older when you're buying them. So just keep in mind they've lived a good life going across seas and being transported on the road, unloaded and loaded. So expect to see stuff like this, these dents and dings. Always expect to see something like that. Another thing to expect, some containers have them, some don't, but a lot of these used containers will have patch welds on them like you see here. This material that a shipping container is made out of is Corrosion steel, C-O-R-T-E-N, look it up on Google. This is like an architectural steel, and it is a anti-corrosive. So how it works, you don't actually have to paint this metal. And for architectural purposes, for the appearance, a lot of places don't actually paint them because they want that rusty appearance. So how it works is it will create a thin skim coat of rust on the outside that seals the rest of the container, preventing it from further rusting. Now, can it still rust further? Absolutely. Depends on the conditions that it's in. These are in salty ocean water conditions, and so they do paint it just to provide that extra barrier of protection on them. But it's not required in your typical everyday use. So, this material will last a long time. Now, most of these used containers are going to have the appearance of surface rust more than this one does. This is a decent looking container. Although it's salvaged, it's still a decent looking container. Expect more surface rust to show on a used container. Sometimes you'll get lucky and get them like this, but majority of the time you'll see more surface rust than this. However, just remember it's an anti-corrosive material. It's not that big of a deal. So there's the patch welds, there's the dents, there's the dings. You do have vents on most of these containers right there, like this, that helps with moisture control. Helps it breathe properly, helps prevent condensation. You will always get condensation still in the cold. When you have that heat and cold cycle transfer, it will condensate on the metal surface. So if you look at the inside and you see some droplets on your roof during the winter time, don't be scared. Your container's probably not leaking. Most likely it's condensation. Here's the back side of the container. As you can see, we have a container number right here. They place them on the backs, on the sides, on the front doors, and on the inside typically. The TGHU 1766847, that is the container number. As you can see on the back side here, there are some dents and dings, and there is another weld job. You can see some of the dents right here and dings, and you can see here at the bottom, it was welded. Must have been damaged at some point, so they welded it. You should expect to see decently straight corner posts. All the weight, when these shipping containers are shipped across seas, all that weight rests on those four corners. These two in the back and the two in the front. They lock the containers together right here. You can see the holes. There's also holes in the top that they put a little thing on, and they set a container on top of it, and it's got a lever that moves over and it locks them all together. I actually sell those if you want some. So, you can see walking around the side here. It's not too bad. You can see where some of the paint's scratched. Right here. You can see more dents and dings. More patch welds. This container does have forklift holes, which is nice. I do like it when they have that. Now the doors. Check the door sills, make sure they're in decent condition. A lot of times you will see them where they may separate a teeny bit, but for the most part they should be good. You should see like the good silicone sill around here. It should be pretty good. What you don't want is like what you have on this door. On this door you can see that this sill is messed up because this corner, so it kind of messed up the sill on this door. Your sills should be in good shape still when you're buying a used wind and watertight container. So, will a door always open super easy on a used wind and watertight container? No. It will not always open easy like a used container because it's been going across seas its entire life. It's been on trucks, it's been loaded and unloaded. That can make it so that the container's not 100% square. And typically when you have a door that's hard to open and shut is because of these mechanisms right here at the top. You can see when I open this container, these mechanisms right here at the top, if the container's not perfectly square, then what it does is when these levers go to latch into those, it may not be sitting as level as it was when it was made, and so it can be a little bit tighter to open and to close. Expect that a bit. Usually it shouldn't be like you have to give it all to open the door. Typically it's not going to be like that. They will still usually be reasonable to open and close. But you'll know if that's the problem, because if you have the door open and then you go to operate these levers right here, see, you can see it's pretty easy to do. It's really not too hard. Now if it's easy when you do that and then you go to close it or open it and it's a pain, that's because of these pieces right here, and also some of the hardware on the door may have moved a bit, and so it can make it a little tough. So now to the inside of the container, you should see good floors. The floors are not perfect in this. Like I said, the backside popped when the container got tweaked. You should have good sills around your floors. It's normal to have some of this kind of stuff going on, but it should still be sealed good. Now go around and look at the walls. You can see where the patches were done right here. They're still good. Still a sealed container. Look on the roof lines, the walls, the roof. Make sure there's no light coming through. Typically what I'll do is I'll get this door. Most of the time you'll be by yourself when inspecting a container. But when I do, I grab this door and I pull it as far closed as I can. And then I inspect it. Do a visual inspection, look around. Make sure you don't see any light shining through. Check the roof lines, check the seams. And as you can see, this container is good. Does not have holes in it on the roof, on the walls, on the seams. So we're in good shape here. That's what you should expect when buying a used wind and watertight container. Now, keep in mind some of these containers, when you see the roof, where the roof line meets the wall, if there's a gap like that, don't freak out. It's still a sealed container, because if you look at it from the top of the container, there's actually a lip that goes over onto the top of this beam right here. And it goes over and then it's welded. So the seam's not the seam where it seals is not actually right here in the corner. It's out further on the container. So just keep in mind, if you do see that gap there, don't freak out. It's still most likely going to be a sealed container. If it's not, you'll know. You'll see light coming through there. So we'll look at the floors. Make sure they're in good shape. Like I said, this floor, see, you should not have floors like this. Sometimes there will be some of these bolts that are a little bit loose, little screws, but the floor seats all the way like it should. In this container, it doesn't seat all the way like it should, so I'm going to have to take it off and secure it. And as you can see, the gap here at the back, it's uneven, which tells you the container is a bit tweaked. So when I remove this and resecure it, I'm going to make sure it's good and sealed. But when you get your container, it should be good. Your seams on your floor should be good. You shouldn't have problems like what this is, where you can see the panels lifted off. Well guys, I hope that helps when you're looking for a used wind and watertight container. Hope that helps you know what to look for and what to expect. I do sell these. I sell 20s, 40s, and 45 foots. So this container, for instance, is 20 feet long by 8 feet wide and 8 foot 6 inches tall. They also do make a high cube version of it, which is instead of 8 foot 6 inches tall, it's 9 foot 6 inches tall. And I do have high cubes in a 20 and a 40, and then 45 foot containers are only in high cubes. I don't have those in any standard height. All right guys, well, hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you learned something, and you guys have a fantastic day.